Hey everybody, guess what time it is? It's time for Tips from a Messy Studio with Michael deMeng. And here he is.
So today I wanted to talk a little bit about the types of brushes to use when you're painting on weirdo objects. Now the thing is, when you're doing assemblage, the problem is you're painting on objects that really aren't designed to have paint on them. You should gesso them and do all that other stuff if you really want to paint on them. But the problem is you don't necessarily want to do that. Maybe you want rust to look like rust, but maybe you want to make it a little rustier. Maybe you want to add colors to it and you want to do that sort of thing. The problem is that because you're painting on often very rough, rugged surfaces, the problem is that your bristles can get ground down to nothing, really fast. So the thing is you really don't want to use your finest brushes for this process. You don't want to use your $50, oh, I have this lovely $50 sable brush, and you don't want to do that when you're painting on a big old rusty saw blade, right? So what I recommend is bristle brushes. These are pretty inexpensive. You can buy them in packs. And interesting thing, bristle brushes are actually often made from hog's hair. That's true, it's hog's hair. Sometimes it's camel, but a lot of times it's hog's hair. And usually they're pretty cheap. This stuff will grind down, but they're so inexpensive that that's okay. I usually buy them in big packs of things. The one problem, which isn't necessarily a problem, is that bristle brushes hold a lot of water. They actually absorb the water. I'm using brushes for two ways. I'm scrubbing stuff into it. That's why I get sanded down pretty quick. But I'm also doing washes, watery paint on top of it. And since this stuff absorbs water and takes it in, it's actually ideal for using as washes, I find. Much better than the artificial fibers, sort of those nylon brushes. They actually reject the water and it's mostly paint. And when you're doing washes, I actually want a little bit of water in there. And so that's part of the reason. The other advantage is that if you're using a heat gun, like I often do when I'm trying to dry these washes, the thing is that those artificial fibers, the sort of plasticky brushes, they will melt and shrivel up if you get a heat gun near them. These will do the same, but not as readily. So, bristle brushes, cheapo, but they're ideal for the type of stuff we're doing.
See you next time.